Hello, my name is Carl Yaris, and I'll be discussing alcohol and the effects it leaves on individuals who consume it. Before we discuss the effects of alcohol, we'll have to briefly discuss what alcohol is and how it's made. With that said, according to the Department of Health in Australia, they state that alcohol is a drug, or more specifically, a psychoactive drug, like other similar substances, as it affects the body's mechanisms, mental processes, and decisions, becoming toxic and addictive if consumed too much or too frequent. With that in mind, it's considered a depressant toward the central nervous system when consumed in high doses, but is considered a stimulant when consumed in low doses. What that means, if you were to go out and take a couple of drinks with friends without going over a limit, you'd be fine as it would be considered a stimulant. But if you were drinking excessively, like from being sad or depressed, or even stressed, as is the usual outcomes, it would be considered a depressant. When it comes to the creation of alcohol, it's formed from the fermentation of yeast, specifically from the sugars of different foods. To be much more specific, from ingredients like grains, wheat, fruit and vegetables. But with that said, this fermentation is used to create drinks and not strictly to beer, wine, vodka, sake, and mead when it comes to alcoholic drinks. Next, we will now discuss the effects of alcohol in the human body. The short-term effects for the physical body by alcohol is but not limited to vomiting, diarrhea, upset stomach, headaches, breathing difficulties, slurred speech, and distorted vision and hearing. When it comes to mental short-term effects, it's usually mild cognitive and physical impairment, lowered inhibitions, decreased perception, coordination, and then lastly, impaired judgment. When it comes to long-term effects of consuming alcohol diminishes gray matter and white matter in the brain, which assists in sending information to the brain while also working with processing those information that it receives. It also causes memory loss, steatosis, which is fatty liver, alcohol hepatitis, but it also goes into development of chronic diseases and other serious problems, which include high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, liver disease, and digestive problems. It also causes cancer of the breast, mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, and colon. So there are risk factors and consequences when it comes to drinking alcohol as well. Some risk factors that be considered when dealing with alcohol is experiencing peer pressure, having low self-esteem, high levels of stress, and lastly, or living in a family or culture where alcohol is commonly used or accepted. Some consequences when it comes to alcohol is that it can lead to alcohol poisoning. It's expensive, which makes people spend too much, can lead to addiction, unintentional injuries, and lastly, violence to others. Now, how often do college students drink? According to Carol Galbisiek, an alcohol rehab guide, it's roughly 8% of students who consume alcohol to some degree, while 50% of those engage in binge drinking.